kitchen, warm out of the oven. And I think the only thing that was better for me than having them warm out of the oven was being able to scrape the bowl of the batter. The dough is being dumped out of the mixer. There's 1,000 pounds of chocolate chip dough. It takes all the willpower I have not to scoop a little bit of dough and eat it.
Next, the 450-kilogram batch of dough is hoisted on. It's about the same weight as a fully grown dairy cow. Milk and cookies in the extreme. So, back to the cookies. The dough falls into a wire cut machine where gravity takes over. It slowly brings the dough down in 2 rolls into round cups called cookie die. As the dough passes through the die, sharp wire slices off cookie sized portions.
Alright, I'll try one of these for a bit.
One of what?
The cookie die machine throws
Fortnite.
12 cookies
Ah.
at one time. Discs of dough pass through a 40-meter tunnel oven. After just 6 minutes at 205 degrees Celsius, the cookies leave the oven. They then travel along a 30-meter cooling conveyor to the packaging room.
No, back it up, back it up.
Okay, Steve, tell us, how do we know that these cookies are good enough to pack? This batch gets a high seal approval, so now they can be packed. The cookies drop down the stacker machine. They're then flipped onto their sides, delivered and packed. Workers carefully pack 24 cookies into plastic trays by hand. This ensures no broken cookies make it onto your plate. Placed onto a conveyor and travel to be packaged. Full trays are sent through a flow wrap, sealing them for freshness. Chocolate cookies packed into boxes. The boxes are then placed onto pallets, ready for distribution to shops across the country.
We'll make over 750,000 chocolate chip cookies in a day, and that equals over 20 million chocolate chips in one day. Is that chocolate enough for you? Chocolate chip cookie for me is the perfect bedtime snack. I'm telling you, I'll have a chocolate chip cookie with a glass of milk almost every night.
Steve, you've got so rock and roll. But whether you're having it for a bedtime snack or any time of day, these cookies are rich in milk biscuit. Hansel and Gretel would make a child's play for this epic Christmas craft. But gingerbread houses can be different too. Luckily, one company does the hard labor for you. So, with their ready-made houses, all you have to do is decorate.
Decided to add gingerbread houses, make full kits, and make life easier for parents so they don't have to bake themselves at home.
Let's visit this sweet construction site in Ontario, Canada. Every house needs a good foundation. In this case, it's gingerbread dough. A mix of dry goods is weighed out. Baking soda, salt, nutmeg, allspice, cinnamon, ground ginger.
What this is for from other competitors is that we use almost all natural ground
Flour, sugar, molasses, then blocks of butter are added to the mix. Finally, pre-blended spice mix goes in. The dough mixes for 15 minutes. Like Father Christmas, this factory has no time to spare before the big day.
For the Christmas season, we have to start preparing everything in January. So all year round, it's Christmas time at NAFTA.
The mixed dough is dumped out directly into a chunker. Each batch weighs 680 kilograms. This is the first step in converting the dough into building material. A conveyor drops the processed dough into a hopper, which feeds a set of mechanical rollers. The chunky dough is then rolled into a long, smooth sheet. Punches house shapes into the dough. 2 side walls, 2 front walls, and 2 roof sections. 24 million shapes are punched every year. A set of rollers separates excess dough from the newly punched shapes, but any leftover pieces are removed and sent back to be rolled once more. Now the pieces can be baked. They move through an enormous tunnel oven at 160 degrees Celsius.
Every morning when I walk into work, I feel like I'm walking into Santa's workshop, and then I have to remind myself I'm not in the North Pole.
The baked biscuits exit the oven and ride a 200-meter-long cooling spiral. As the pieces circle, the surrounding air brings them to room temperature. After 25 minutes, the biscuit buildings are ready to exit. The sections are sorted by shape
This isn't
and
good.
move further into the workshop. But before construction can begin, they need some sweet cement. Into a mixer goes water, icing sugar, and meringue powder, which is dried egg whites, corn flour, and a binding agent. The icing mixes for 15 minutes. Some of the icing is fed into a depositor. Small pouches are filled with icing, 4 at a time. The pouches are for customers to add their own decorative touches to the house. Each pouch is then collected and set aside. The rest of the icing is used by a highly skilled gingerbread house construction crew, the Merry Masons, the Christmas carpenters. You get the picture. These builders use icing guns, which speed up the assembly. Crucial when you're making 4 million houses a year. First, icing is used to glue the walls to the base. Next, the roofs are put into place. And a final strip of icing completes construction. This is one job where it's fun to take your work home.
When I go home, I like to decorate houses with my 2-year-old son. So this gingerbread all the time.
The finished houses are then left to dry. The kits will be complete with a few more decorations. Large bags of jelly sweets are opened into a hopper. They're sorted into 6 rows and then repackaged into smaller bags. But they aren't the only decorations. Will be made every year. The cooled houses are sent through a shrink wrapper. They're then covered in bubble wrap, a little home insurance. And now for the decorations: sugar faces, icing,
I think
and jelly
Fortnite's for me,
sweets.
to be honest.
Hmm?
I think Fortnite is for me, to be honest.
Boxes are
No.
sealed and packed into cases of 12 and move swiftly onto pallets. There's no need for DIY this Christmas.
Same how much it's gotta
Simply
kill.
open the box and decorate your home sweet home. Rich and creamy, a simple cheesecake is a decadent dessert. But this version puts the icing on the cake by adding chocolate, caramel, and pecans.
Well, it's named turtle cheesecake, I guess, obviously after the famous turtle chocolate. It's always been a personal favorite of mine.
Oh yes, that famous turtle
I
chocolate.
picked up a sniper rifle.
The cakes are made
Okay.
at this factory in
No?
Ontario, Canada. The cheesecake is built from the bottom up, starting
God.
at the base. The rich
Permanently
chocolate
running.
crumbs are placed into a mixer, along with
There's
granulated
any
sugar.
vehicles.
Huh.
As they mix, a
Got a
blend
dead
of
body
melted
here.
margarine and shortening is poured in. That's it for the base. Now for the filling. In a separate mixer, shortening and sugar are blended together to remove lumps. The process is called creaming. The next ingredient is cream cheese. Then flour to thicken the cheese.
The mixing of the cheesecake batter is a science, and it's important that we do it in the proper order. That's why we always mix our solids first before we add the liquids.
And the liquids,
Ow.
35% cream and eggs.
Oh, fuck.
So should I try Dying Light out then?
Sour cream, which adds tartness.
Yeah, although I think you've missed out the sale.
One batch is
I've
equivalent to
had
100
it for
cheesecakes.
probably 2 years now at this stage.
Oh, okay.
With each
Yeah,
cheesecake,
it's good fun. It's also got co-op in it.
pans are greased with oil to prevent the cake from
And PvP.
The biscuit base is molded
Ish.
into
It's
buns.
sort of a 1v1 like Left 4 Dead, I guess,
Next, the
where you've
cheesecake
got
is brought to the line.
a hunter and coming after you,
The hopper
and
feeds a batter gun.
you do what you can to stop it.
Grams of the cheese mix is
Fair enough.
piped on to every base. This classic cheesecake now needs a few extra ingredients.
Fuck, that is so not helpful.
A vat of caramel feeds the line. Each cheesecake is given
Circle's
a
gonna
30
start moving
milliliter
now.
caramel swirl.
The caramel depositor has a handheld gun.
Fucking get
Allows
down.
the operator to direct
First
the
game of
caramel
Fortnite, just 20
deposit
people left.
exactly where they want it, and in this
I've
case,
already have
they
it
do
killed.
a round circle to make sure.
Plays
it's
very
perfect.
like another game that we won't
It's
mention.
a square circle, a round circle.
Huh. Wonder which game that would be.
This factory uses 1,000 kilograms of caramel each year. The cakes are now ready to bake. They're placed onto racks and loaded into ovens.
2 dead.
They bake at 112 degrees Celsius for 35 minutes. Then at 37
Must get used to the
degrees
bullet drop,
for
it's
10
ridiculous.
minutes.
You just need that extra 10 minutes at a cool temperature to just give it a little more dryness on top.
Once baked, the cakes are pulled out and left to cool. 30 minutes later, the cooled cakes can be decorated.
The decorating line is probably the coolest place to work in the whole plant.
I'd say that'd be the blast freezer. Anyway, first, whipped cream is applied. And 3,000 litres is used every day. The cream layer is then finished off by hand. Next, more caramel is drizzled over the
Ooh! Ooh! Electricity, baby.
drizzle follows that. And how many cakes have these women made?
Making myself a little pile of zombies in the doorway.
Wow, that is some going. Now the desserts are perfectly dressed, they're brought to a blast
Goddamn
freezer.
game. Seems regardless of what battle royale I play,
What it allows
Circle
us
hates
to
me.
do is to freeze the product at a very, very fresh stage to preserve that freshness.
After an hour in the deep freeze, the cakes are brought to a cutter to be portioned. As the cake
Oh.
cools, a blade slices. And with
Shit.
every cut, paper is inserted into the cake, so it's easy to divide later on.
Okay, time to leave. Need to wait tonight for that one.
6 cuts leave 12 pieces. and 240 cheesecakes are cut per hour. The final topping is pecan nuts. They're added last, so they stay warm.
We use the pecan last because it looks bright on a cake and every slice can get the same amount of pecan.
The cakes are now finished and placed into white boxes. The cake boxes are shrink wrapped and placed 4 to a delivery box. These boxes are then loaded onto pallets and kept in cold storage to stay fresh for shipping. The cakes are ready, but take care. They can be addictive.
I would have no problem consuming 12 slices of cheesecake in 10 minutes.
Well, that's just greedy. Mind you, I think I agree with you.
Drowning can be a bad way to die. Oh god, the river isn't even up to my knees.
Do I get up there? Boo.
Smoked salmon, a delicacy served on canapes, with salads, or for breakfast with scrambled eggs. When people first started to smoke foods, the smoky flavour wasn't the main priority.
Smoking fish has been around for thousands and thousands of years. It was used as a preservation technique by native North Americans, Scandinavians.
But now, if you want fresh smoked salmon, you can count on this family business.
Fish has always been a part of our lives. I mean, when I was a kid, Tuesday nights was always smoked fish and bagels.
Michael
Sorry?
and his brother Daniel have
I
been
wonder if
You got
smoking
it.
salmon since they were teenagers. Their father, Harry Nadler, has
Probably
managed
not.
the company
Doesn't
since
strike me as a game.
1974. So
Is it a bit run and gun?
what they're doing.
But it's very cartoony. It's not really a.
Yeah, no, I saw that from the
Less than 72 hours after the fish was plucked
videos I've seen of it. It's
which isn't
like
the
Hubka,
Atlantic,
but
of course.
for kids.
If you didn't already know,
Yeah.
Atlantic salmon
That's a pretty good way of looking at
is a
it.
species, and it doesn't denote specifically.
I'm currently
where it comes
4th.
from.
So Atlantic salmon haven't necessarily spent their lives swimming in the Atlantic Ocean,
Right, that's not a great circle for me.
but they're a great choice of fish for smoking.
Color is important, but texture is, for me, the most important thing. Texture is the thing that you really can feel the difference from Atlantic versus a lot of other species.
And to get the best Atlantic salmon all year round, the Nadlers choose farm salmon.
If you want to do a fresh, never frozen product and offer it 12 months of the year, you have to run a farm-raised product. Wild salmon only run for a few weeks of the year.
Atlantic salmon are not commercially fished in North America, as they're a threatened species. So farming salmon helps meet demand and protects the
Believe
wild
that.
fish.
Not going to be enough to net me that. So, meh.
All the bones have been removed from the salmon, but it's not ready to be smoked just yet. First, the fish are brined. The technique of brining fillets with a mixture of salt and sugar draws out the moisture from the fish, giving it a pleasant, firm texture. Brining also acts as a marinade to give the salmon a delicate, sweet and salty flavour. The layering creates pressure on the fish, which increases the flavouring and preserving effects of the brine. These men are the experts.
I'm Ian, Brand. We've been working together for 5 years.
The fillet on the
Snipers
left has
kill
lost
fucking
moisture,
everyone.
giving it a firmer texture.
Doesn't
It
kill me
takes
yet, though.
24 hours for most of the moisture to be drawn out of the fish. By
Good
the
shot
next
at,
morning,
though.
the salt and sugar have done their job and are rinsed off. Now the rack of 80 sides of salmon is taken to the machine that's key to this operation. The
I
smoke.
wonder what's going on over there. Someone building a tower
Factory
for
has 5
himself.
smokers, but this is the biggest. It holds 320 sides of salmon. So now it's time to get smoking. You can use just about any type of wood, but here they use a Canadian favorite.
Maple wood flavor is not as intense.
Game is very helpfully telling me about cooperative games I could be playing with complete strangers, and I'm like, yeah, no.
A little bit of wood hits a hot plate, starts to burn, and this smoke generator.
Oh wow, his
pulls the
fort
smoke
might
out,
actually be in the
feeds it into
fucking
house.
blue zone when it
The
arrives.
pipes carrying the smoke are wrapped in coils that cool the smoke to 16 degrees Celsius.
Or he might just have it on the edge
It's
if he's
called
lucky.
cold smoking.
Very lucky.
Most of that time it's actually not smoking, it's actually drying to remove the moisture from the product.
Hot smoking would cook the fish and remove even more moisture, leaving you with a smoked, cooked fish. After 15 hours in the smoke chamber, the salmon is ready. They're already cool, but they need to be cold to make them easier to slice. So they sit in a refrigerator set at 3 degrees Celsius.
Not good.
I came third.
That kept the fish together when it arrived is no longer
First game of Fortnite.
after smoking. The
Third.
salmon flesh is firm, and the skin can be
Last game of Fortnite. Third.
Pretty amazing that it takes the skin off.
Why the hell would you play that?